Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Valerie and this is TheHargettLife. In today's What's for Dinner video, I'm sharing 4 easy recipes with you. First up is Timin Pasta. For this recipe, you'll need about a pound of chicken. You can also use ground beef. You'll need a pound of pasta, a jar of marinara sauce, a jar of Alfredo sauce, and 2 cups of shredded mozzarella that I decided to leave out. I started off by adding about a tablespoon of butter and about a tablespoon of oil to my skillet here, and I cut my chicken into bite-sized pieces and I cooked them in the skillet until they were cooked through. I seasoned the chicken with some nature seasoning, some Italian seasoning, and some garlic powder. But feel free to use whatever seasonings you like. While the chicken was cooking, I added the pasta to some water and cooked it according to the instructions on the back of the box. I tossed the chicken around until all of it was completely cooked through. When the chicken was done, I added in the marinara sauce and Alfredo sauce and then gave it a stir. I let that come to a simmer, and then I drained my pasta and added it into this sauce mixture. Then I stirred it until all that pasta was completely coated with that sauce. Now the recipe I used, after this step, I was supposed to pour it into a casserole dish and bake it, but we were in a hurry this night and I just went ahead and served it up like this. I made some corn and some Texas toast garlic bread to go with this, and it was delicious. That recipe was super easy and it always turns out good. And if you'd like, you could change out the chicken for ground beef. Next up, I made oven roasted pork tenderloin, the Pioneer Woman's mashed potatoes, and I also made some green beans. For this next meal, I used a Smithfield pork tenderloin, and I made the Pioneer Woman's mashed potatoes. For those, you'll need about 6 russet potatoes, some heavy whipping cream, some cream cheese, and I made some green beans. I started out by peeling and dicing my potatoes and then adding them to cold water. Then I brought them to a boil and cooked them until they were fork tender. I added about a tablespoon of oil to my skillet and turned it on medium-high heat, added in my pork tenderloin, and browned it on all sides, and that took a total of about 5 or 6 minutes. You're not looking to cook it all the way through here. You're just trying to get a good sear on the outside. That just helps to lock in all that flavor. Spray your baking dish with some nonstick spray and add in that pork tenderloin. I aligned mine with some aluminum foil just for easy cleanup. Then place it into a 400-degree oven, uncovered, for 13 to 15 minutes, flipping halfway. Now, while that's in the oven, I just drained a can of green beans and added them to the skillet that I seared the pork tenderloin in. I seasoned them with a little nature seasoning, added in a little chicken broth, and let them simmer for about 10 minutes. When my potatoes were fork tender, I drained them and returned them to the pot, and then I used my little chopper here to mash them up. Because, funny story, just a few weeks ago, I got rid of my potato masher because I haven't used it in like 2 or 3 years. I got way too used to making those instant mashed potatoes. And trust me, they are way better this way. Next, I added in cream cheese and butter and tried to mix that up as well as I could. Let's just say I might be adding a potato masher to my shopping list this week. I added in some half and half and nature seasoning, and then I gave it a stir. Another funny story. My husband thought he loved instant mashed potatoes until I made them this way. Right before the pork tenderloin was done, I made a packet of country peppered gravy to go on the potatoes. Now all that's left to do is make a plate. We all loved that one, and Lacey really loved that one. All we had left over was some mashed potatoes. So I decided to use up those mashed potatoes and try a new recipe for an easy shepherd's pie. For this recipe, you'll need some ground beef, about a pound, a packet of beef stew seasoning mix, a can of tomato soup, some shredded cheddar cheese, mixed vegetables, and some leftover mashed potatoes. I started out by browning my ground beef until it was cooked through. I used a paper towel to get rid of that grease. I added in the packet of beef stew seasoning mix, the can of tomato soup, and some water, and gave it a stir. And the recipe said to add frozen mixed vegetables to this, but most of the reviews said that the veggies weren't cooked enough for their liking. So I got a bag of steamable mixed veggies and I steamed them before I added them in. Stir that mixture up good and then pour it into a baking dish that you have sprayed with some nonstick spray. When you get all that spread out real good, then you'll want to spoon your mashed potatoes over the top and spread them out as evenly as possible. Now top those potatoes with some shredded cheddar cheese. I may have put a little extra cheese, but we love cheese. I baked this in a preheated 400-degree oven for about 30 minutes. And if you want, you can switch the oven to broil the last minute or two and get that top a little more golden brown.
Now that one surprised me. It turned out to be really good. And it was an easy way to use up those leftover mashed potatoes. And for this last recipe, it is a family favorite. It is crock-pot tomato basil chicken.
For this last recipe, you'll need a can of diced tomatoes with Italian herbs, tomato pasta sauce, heavy cream, cornstarch, minced garlic, salt, dried basil, black pepper, and boneless, skinless chicken breasts. To the crock pot, just add in 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes with Italian herbs, 3/4 cup of pasta sauce, 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of dried basil, and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. In a separate bowl, add in 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, and to that, add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Then whisk until smooth. Now add that cornstarch slurry into the crock pot with that tomato sauce. Then stir that around until it's well combined. Now add in 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts and make sure they're fully submerged in that creamy sauce. Now cover and cook on low for 3 to 5 hours. I made some egg noodles to cover with that creamy tomato basil chicken. When that chicken was cooked through, I removed it to a separate plate, shredded it, and returned it to the crock pot. And cooking it like this makes it very easy to shred. It falls apart very easily.
We knew we would love that one. All 4 recipes turned out to be really good, but the tomato basil chicken is still our favorite. That's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some meal ideas and dinner inspiration for your family. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.